Okay, you know that too, right? Guantanamera. It's just one of those
Yeah.
melodies that's, well, it's everywhere. It kind of gets stuck in your head. But have you ever stopped to think about where it actually came from?
Mhm.
Or how this simple song about a country girl from Guantanamo turned into this massive global thing? Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take a whole bunch of sources, articles, research notes, you name it, and we boil it all down to get you the essential insights fast. Today, we are diving deep into Guantanamera, a song that started in a small Cuban town and somehow became this worldwide phenomenon. It's been called an unofficial anthem. It's been a pop chart hit, a protest song, even, and this one surprised me, a recycling jingle. So our mission today, we're going to unpack that incredible winding journey. We'll dig into its slightly mysterious origins, figure out where that poetic heart really came from, and track all these, well, surprising transformations across different cultures and times. We want you to understand who really created it, what its core message is, and how on earth it ended up meaning so many different things to so many people. We've looked at encyclopedias, musical analyses, poetry translations, cultural critiques. It's a really rich story packed into one powerful song. Ready to jump in?
It really is remarkable, isn't it, how one melody can hold so much. It's a perfect example of what folklorists call the folk process. You know, how songs just organically shift and change and pick up new meanings as they travel. And that was happening even before it hit the global stage.
Absolutely. So let's start right there at the beginning. In Cuba, the name most associated with composing the music and getting it out there first is Joseíto Fernández. He apparently started using it on his radio shows way back, maybe as early as 1929, made it a regular thing, like his signature tune.
Yeah, Fernandez was definitely key in popularizing it. He claimed he wrote it, and the general consensus points to 1929 for the music. Though, interestingly, there was a later claim involving a musician named Herminio El Diablo Garcia Wilson. Some said he was a co-composer. That actually went to court much later in 1993. The Cuban Supreme Court looked at it, and, well, they credited Fernandez as the sole composer of the music. So, legally speaking, the tune belongs to Joseito.
Okay, so Joseíto Fernández, the music. Got it. But the lyrics,
Yeah.
the original lyrics, that part was fascinating. He didn't just write one set of lyrics, did he?
No, not at all. That's one of the coolest early details. He apparently improvised new lyrics every single week for his radio show. It could be about current events, political gossip, maybe the price of sugar, whatever was happening.
Wow. So the famous refrain, Guajira, Guantanamera, country girl from Guantanamo, that part stuck. It was catchy. But the song itself wasn't consistently about a country girl.
Exactly. The refrain was the hook, but the verses changed constantly. It shows how adaptable the song was right from the start. But even with those shifting stories, a core feeling emerged early on. It became an expression of, love for Cuba and solidarity with poorer people. That set a kind of foundation, a theme that would really resonate later.
Right, that theme. Love for Cuba, solidarity.
Yeah.
It feels like the poetry that came later didn't just add to that, it gave it this whole new depth. So how did that happen? How did we get from improvised news updates to, well, poetry?
Well, that's the crucial pivot point. Fernandez gave us the tune and that early adaptable format. But the words that most people associate with Guantanamera today, they come from someone completely different. José Martí. Martí is just this huge figure in Cuban history, born 1853, died 1895, poet, independence hero, national icon.
And these verses come from his collection Versos Sencillos, or Simple Verses, published in 1891, right? His last work printed before he died. And he wrote much of it while recovering from illness in the Catskill Mountains, of all places, in 1890.
That's right. The collection has 46 poems written in these very specific 4-line stanzas, quatrains with 8 syllables per line, octosyllabic verse. They're known for feeling very spontaneous, very clear, but also having this really rich color symbolism.
So Fernandez's tune is floating around Cuba. Martí's poetry exists separately. Who connect to the dots?
That was another key figure. A Spanish-born Cuban composer named Julián Orbón. He saw the potential there. He's the one credited with adapting specific stanzas from Martí's simple verses and fitting them to the Guantanamera melody. This new version, the Martí version, really started to catch on around the time of the Cuban Revolution, and it basically replaced Fernandez's topical, improvised lyrics for good.
And the verses Orbón chose, they really packed a punch. They gave the song its lasting meaning. Like, Yo soy un hombre sincero de donde crecen las palmas. I am a truthful man from this land of palm trees.
Antes de morir me quiero echar mis versos del alma. Before dying, I want to share these poems of my soul. Just beautiful, direct honesty.
And there's that imagery. Mi verso es de un verde claro y de un carmín encendido. My verses are light green, but they're also flaming red.
Right. Mi verso es un ciervo herido que buscan en el monte amparo. My verse is a wounded stag or deer who seeks refuge on the mountain.
It captures that duality, you know? Tenderness and passion, vulnerability and strength. Yeah. And then the one about the white rose, that one always gets me. Cultivo la rosa blanca en junio como en enero. Para el amigo sincero que me da su mano franca.
And for the sincere friend who gives me his hand. And then the contrast. Y para el cruel que me arranca el corazón con que vivo. Cardón y ortiga cultivo la rosa blanca. And for the cruel one who would tear out this heart with which I live, I do not cultivate thistles nor nettles, I cultivate a white rose. It's this incredible statement of choosing kindness, choosing integrity, even when faced with cruelty. Apparently, it's one of the first poems kids learned in many parts of Latin America.
Wow. And finally, the verse that really connects back to that early theme of solidarity. Con los pobres de la tierra quiero yo mi suerte echar.
With the poor people of the earth, I want to cast my lot. El arroyo de la sierra me complaces más. The mountain stream pleases me more than the sea. It's a powerful declaration of choosing simplicity and standing with the common people.
So Orbón's genius was seeing how Martí's words, these universal themes of honesty, kindness, solidarity, could fit Fernández's really catchy, flexible tune.
Yeah.
It wasn't just putting lyrics to music. It was like cultural alchemy, taking a local tune and elevating it into something that could speak across cultures.
Precisely. Those Martí verses gave it the depth and universality it needed for its next big leap, which was on to the global stage.
And that leap involves a folk legend, Pete Seeger. This is where the story really takes off internationally. The date was apparently July 15th, 1962. A Cuban music student, Hector Angelo, played this song for Seeger at a folk festival up in New York State.
Yeah, Seeger heard it and was immediately captivated. The story goes, he said something like, "It's a beautiful song, lots of people up here could sing it, the chorus isn't too hard, I'd love to learn it."
And he didn't just learn it, he championed it. Seeger's version, using the Martí lyrics Orbón had said, is often called the definitive version, according to AllMusic anyway. He put it on his album We Shall Overcome, performed it at Carnegie Hall in '63, really introduced it to that American folk audience.
And his intention was really interesting, too. This was during the Cold War, the Cuban Missile Crisis era. Seeger saw it as a song for the peace movement. He wanted people to sing it as a symbol of connection between Americans and Cubans. He even pushed for singing it in Spanish, hoping it would hasten the day the USA is some sort of bilingual country.
It really shows that folk process you mentioned in action, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Taking a song, reinterpreting it, giving it a new mission.
Absolutely. And from Seeger, it just branched out everywhere.
Which brings us to the commercial hits. The biggest one, probably in the English-speaking world, was by the Sandpipers in 1966. Kind of easy listening group.
Right. Their version was actually based on a live recording by the Weavers, Seeger's old group, from Carnegie Hall. It was arranged by Mort Garson, produced by Tommy LaPuma, who even did a little narration on it. And it was huge. Top 10 in the US and the UK Grammy nominations. It really crossed over into the mainstream.
It's amazing how it could be a peace anthem 1 minute and a smooth pop hit the next. And then there's Celia Cruz, the queen of salsa. Guantanamera is so strongly linked with her.
Oh, absolutely. It apparently appears on over 240 of her recordings or compilations. Her first commercial recording of it was in 1968. And she even mentioned singing it with special memories 9 times in her autobiography. A deep connection for her.
But it didn't stop there, did it? It kept evolving. Wyclef Jean did a version in 1997.
Yeah, Wyclef's wasn't really a straight cover. It was more like he incorporated it, added new lyrics, new music. He had Lauryn Hill doing a rap verse, Jenny Fujita singing, and incredibly, he got Celia Cruz herself to re-record vocals for it.
Wow, East meets West, or maybe North meets South there.
Kind of. And that version got a Grammy nomination, too, for Best Rap Performance. It charted well. And get this, Barack Obama put Wyclef's version on his summer playlist back in 2022. Shows its staying power.
That is incredible longevity. And the list just goes on and on, doesn't it? Barbara E. Dick hit #1 in Argentina with it. Julio Iglesias, Joan Baez, Jimmy Buffett, Los Lobos, Gypsy Kings.
Gloria Estefan, Campe Segundo from Buena Vista Social Club fame.
Yeah.
Even Muslim Magomayev, who was like the Soviet Sinatra, did a disco version.
A disco version. Okay, that's commitment to adaptation. It really speaks to that simple melody, doesn't it? Anyone can grab onto it.
For sure. And people have used it for commentary, too. Richard Stallman, the free software guy, did a version called Guantanamera. It was an ironic take on the Guantanamo prison, the war on terror, using the song's history of solidarity for, well, pointed social critique.
So it's been folk, pop, Latin, rap, disco, protest. But some of the most surprising places it popped up weren't even in music recordings, were they?
No, this is where it gets really interesting, maybe even a bit weird.
Okay, first, British football chants. Apparently, the tune is huge on the terraces in England. They just fit new words to it constantly, usually about players or managers. You hear things like, "There's only one player's name," sung to the tune. Or maybe less kindly, "You're getting sacked in the morning."
Yeah. It's fascinating how that simple, adaptable melody becomes this vehicle for communal expression, for passion, even if it's totally removed from Martí's poetry. It's just a great tune to chant together.
Right. And then maybe the most unexpected one, Sweden.
Yes, the recycling jingle.
The Pantamera Recycling Authority, Pantamera means deposit more. They made it their official jingle in 2004. A recycling jingle. I mean, can you imagine telling José Martí his verses about the soul would end up selling recycling?
It's kind of mind-boggling. Apparently, it's so popular there that many Swedish kids think the song originated with the recycling campaign. They even made a music video with, like, plastic bottles dancing into the recycling bin to the tune.
Unbelievable. And it's shown up in movies and TV too, right?
Oh, yeah, quite a bit. It's in the classic Cuban film Lucia from '68. You hear it playing in the background in a cafe scene in Havana in The Godfather Part 2.
Oh, I remember that. And more recently, Berlin dances to Campe Segundo's version in a flashback in Money Heist.
Right. And it was used in the sitcom Gimme a Break for a protest scene. Even Saturday Night Live used the tune for a fake ad.
So films, TV, football, recycling, any others?
Well, there are niche ones, too. Paul Kelly, the Australian singer, had a hidden track using the tune for There's Only One David Gower, the cricketer. And a Pakistani pop star named Alamgir had a big hit called Al Belarahi, which uses the melody. It just keeps spreading.
It's just staggering when you lay it all out. This single song, Guantanamera, it starts as Joseíto Fernández's radio jingle with made-up lyrics week to week. Then it gets fused with the profound poetry of José Martí, this national hero. Pete Seeger picks it up, turns it into an anthem for peace and understanding. It becomes a global pop smash for the Sandpipers, a signature song for Celia Cruz. Then it gets reimagined in rap, becomes a football chant, and yes, even sells recycling in Sweden. What a ride.
It really highlights the power of a simple, memorable melody combined with a structure that invites adaptation. It's managed to leap across languages, across political divides, across musical genres. Its universal appeal is just undeniable.
So, thinking about this whole journey, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What did the story of Guantanamera tell us about how music travels, how it picks up meaning, sheds meaning, becomes something far bigger than maybe anyone intended? How can one tune become a vessel for so much poetry, protest, pop, even plastic bottles? What does that say about how we connect through art across time and cultures? Something to think about.